evening. Jackie Anderson, President of the Houston Federation of Teachers. On 2 separate occasions, I asked Mr. Miles the status of the compensation manual. The second time, he told me, go back and tell your people there will be no changes in the 22-23 compensation manual. I stand here with the 23-24 compensation manual that is plagued with changes, especially around stipends. It may not be anything to you because you don't have to go home and take care of your family members, or you might not be the head person in your home. Some teachers have to leave and go work second jobs to make ends meet. Now, most extra duty pay has been removed. You should be holding Mr. Miles accountable for telling the truth. Where is your moral compass, or do you have one?
Our next speaker is Allison Nero. Please go ahead.
Thank you. You had the principals at multiple schools tell teachers to choose between a total compliance to the new model or leave their job. And you're trying to reassign and even fire ones who ask questions because they have a moral compass, telling them to do what's right for students, what we teachers are trained to do for students. You wouldn't have to use fear and force if the model were that good. I hope every teacher knows that we don't need to resign when we hear that message, that ultimatum. I hope they know that resigning only hurts them and lets you all off the hook. If a teacher is that ready to leave, they should let you reassign them so they can keep their contracted pay and benefits, or let you terminate them so that they can still receive unemployment and avoid a sanction on their certification. I hope they understand that you're giving them a false ultimatum and an immoral one at that.
Our next, Scarborough, please go ahead.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Santos, Vice President of the Houston Federation of Teachers. Now rise to speak on item 2. The principal evaluation system is worthless. The unelected board again fails to perform its due diligence. It is a fact. Not one page of the publication cites a single empirical study substantiating its monstrosity. It is a fact. Not one of the school action plans that factor into the system were ratified by campus site-based decision-making committees. It is a fact. The system incentivizes principals to slander and degrade teachers if scores on racist tests are low. By approving the system, the unelected board will implicitly confess how the hostile state takeover was never about supporting our schools. It's about dismantling them. Thank you.
Ms. Wilson? Yes, ma'am.
Before acting as managers of HISD, most of you have volunteered on boards and community organizations. You even received praise from stakeholders because they approved of the work you were doing and found value in it. So why is your work in HISD different? Why, after 3 months, has no one stood here to thank you for the way your votes improve schools or supported educators? It's because you are causing harm. You aren't improving the lives of those you claim to serve. When you allowed libraries to be closed and taken away, you caused harm. When you condoned the removal of bilingual programming, you caused harm. When you punish dedicated teachers who hold you accountable, you are causing harm. You are responsible for the harm being inflicted on our students and teachers right now. You are all responsible for the record decline in enrollment after the start of the school year. When you continue to ignore our concerns and instead support the authoritarian actions of this administration,
Heiner, followed by Ashley Blaylock and Candace Weber. Ms. Heiner?
I do not know
Yes,
how I will
ma'am.
follow that. Thank you so much. Okay.
Go ahead.
I recently attended an SDMC Q&A meeting with Mr. Miles about the LEAD principal evaluation system. With test scores largely hinging on principal evaluations and pay, Mr. Miles was asked what the plan was in the event that test scores were released late or tied up in the current lawsuit. Mr. Miles stated, "We will figure it out." When Mr. Miles was asked what his plan was for evaluating DAEP principals, he stated, "I don't know, but we will put something together." When asked what he was doing to ensure that he was creating a positive culture where principals want to stay so that they can pass that positive culture on to our students and educators, Mr. Miles said, "It's always a choice to be a principal, and you choose to be a principal anyway." The HISD community is tired of Mr. Miles implementing irresponsible processes that he is making up as he goes. This system pits principals against each other and does not account for all the campuses and their different challenges and advantages that each of them face.
Thank you. My name is Allison Newport, and I am here to speak on the October budget amendment and on behalf of an NESA teacher who is afraid to speak for fear of retribution. On paper, we are overstaffed, and our school cannot use district substitutes when teachers are absent. The reality is we are understaffed. We do not have long-term substitutes filling vacancies. As a result, we often have to put one class into another teacher's room. This week, we had to fit 3 classes into one teacher's classroom. Sometimes we have to grab anyone and have them watch over our students. One time, we had a janitor supervising a special education classroom when no other staff was available. These disruptions are a huge disservice to our students, and staff who are unaware of students' special needs especially negatively affects our special education kids. Fix the budget.
Lynn, please go ahead.
My name is Sarah Rivlin, and I'm here to speak on behalf of an NES teacher who is afraid of speaking for fear of retribution. I was optimistic about the changes that were coming. I believed Mr. Miles, but he has lied. Teachers were told that someone would be hired so we didn't have to copy or grade papers and not have to do clerical work. It's been 6 weeks. We're still waiting for that support. Teachers were told that we will internalize one subject. I was hired to teach one subject, then given another, and then another. Seriously, 1 hour of planning is not enough to internalize 3 subjects, fix curriculum issues, make copies, grade papers, and call parents without the support you promised. You lied and continue to lie. Why should we believe anything you say? Those were her 2 cents.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Diana Candida. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Diana Candida. I'm here to speak on item 8 on behalf of a teacher at a non-NES, NESA school, but who is still required to do NES things. She's afraid of speaking for fear of retribution. She says this: I am a veteran teacher in HISD who has experienced 5 superintendent changes. Change can be good. Previous superintendents have positively impacted student growth, parent involvement, and school culture. Currently, we do not have these kinds of leaders at HISD. We have dictators who bully and threaten the community, students, and staff. They gaslight, intimidate, and demean others who disagree or question them. Now teachers are afraid, parents are discouraged, students are not learning well. Therefore, we are at war, and fear, intimidation, and bullying will not win. When you are gone, change will be good. Those are her 2 cents. I believe the real agenda of these awful leaders in the now Houston occupied school district is to dismantle the public school system.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Quesada, you have a minute.
Your disdain for children of low socioeconomic status is on full display. First, you took away the libraries, and now you're telling them they can't have field trips. I want parents to know that most HISD schools receive Title I funding, and those funds can absolutely be used for field trips from the pre-approved list. Districts accepting Title I Part A funds must develop plans to address disparities in low-income and minority students' access to effective, experienced teachers compared to their higher-income non-minority cohorts. Explain to us how seeking exemptions from teaching certifications under District of Innovation improves the quality of teachers. How does firing educators for speaking up improve the quality of education? Federal law requires the certification of bilingual and special education teachers. Most sped ed kids receive their services in general ed. DOI does not exempt you from Title I Part A federal statutory requirements. Parents' right to know, campus improvement plan, district improvement plan, and time and effort.